A very good evening, students. In last lecture, we have discussed decision making under uncertainty. That means when in the market, the situation is not perfect or it is uncertain, then how can we take decision using different methods like maximin, maximax, minimax, Harvey's rule, etc. Now, today we will discuss another method, that is decision making under risk. So let me explain first what is the difference between decision making under uncertainty and decision making under risk. So when in the market situation is odd, sometimes it is up and sometimes it is down, then basically we cannot catch the real situation, or we cannot get the perfect idea regarding the situation. So in that case, we can use maximin, maximax, minimax, Harvey's rule, Laplace rule, etc. method. But when we have some past information, but don't we have the perfect information. So when we have the past information, so basically in decision making under risk method, we have some information, and on the basis of that information we can find some probabilities. We can assign some probabilities to the states of nature. In other words, we can say that to each and every unit we can decide the chance of happening for that particular event or states of nature. So this is what basically the decision making under risk method. So it assumes that the decision maker can list out the various states of nature and can also assign probabilities to event of their occurrence. Most commonly used criterion for decision making under risk method is EMV and or Bayes theorem. So basically, expected monetary value method is based on the probabilities, and the Bayes theorem is also based on the past information, and from the past information it will give you the perfect scenario for the future situation. Hence we can use this method. Expected payoff for each alternative is the sum of weighted payoff for that alternative, where the weights are the probability values assigned to the occurrence of different states of nature by the decision maker. Earlier I have told you that when we have some information regarding the past data or past situation, then we can basically judge the situation, or we can generally predict the occurrence or happening for the particular event, and hence we can use this criteria. So let me explain now very first criteria or method, that is EMV. The full name of EMV is expected monetary value. So basically in expected monetary value we should have two things, that is payoff, that is Xij, and for each and every states of nature we should have respective probabilities. So when we have two things, payoff and respective probabilities, each and every states of nature wise, then we can apply this rule. Now here, as we have seen in Laplace criteria, how can we find EMV? So EMV is nothing but it is a double summation Xij into Pj. That means we will find EMV for each and every X by multiplying Xij with its respective probabilities. Okay, then after finding EMV, we'll follow step number 2, that is we will select that act as the best act which has the maximum EMV. So I hope now it is clear to you all, because in the last method, we have discussed these already. Now, please note down this difference between the EMV criteria and Laplace criteria. In the last lecture, one student had asked me the question, so why in Laplace method we have to assume equal probability? So dear, when you do not have the perfect information regarding the situation, then we cannot assign different probabilities to different states of nature. So hence it is advisable to find average profit or payoff, and hence we have to assign equal probabilities to each and every states of nature so that we can find average profit. So basically the difference between these two methods is, in Laplace criteria, when we do not have the perfect situation as the event is uncertain, then we assume that we make some assumption that the each and every event or states of nature has the equal chance of happening. Again, I am repeating. In Laplace criteria, we assume that each and every states of nature or event have equal chance of happening, while in EMV criteria, we have some past information, and when we have the past information, then we can easily find the probability for each and every states of nature. Hence, in Laplace criteria, probabilities are not given in the question, and hence we have to assume each and every states of nature are having equal a chance of happening. But in this method, we cannot do like that, because here we have the information, and on the basis of that information, we can predict the chance of happening of any event. Okay, so I hope now it is clear to you all. So let us discuss very first question. In this question, what we have given. So in this question, from the following data, find EMV, that is expected monetary value, for each and every states of nature. So in this question, basically we have given the information regarding X and states of nature, and we have also given its respective probability. So now we can find EMV. So let us try to solve this question. First, what you have given, A, B, C, X, and in the column we have given E1, E2, E3 and its respective payoff. And we have given probability, so we can assume it as Pj, 0.3, 0.5 and 0.2. Okay. So now, first we have to write the formula of EMV. What is formula of EMV? Double summation Xij into Pj. Now first we'll find EMV for Xa. So we'll multiply Xij that is payoff with its respective probability. So just multiply these two, 10,000 into 0.3 plus 20,000 into 0.5 plus 5,000 into 0.2. So basically 10,000 into 0.3 is 3,000 plus 20,000 into 0.5, that is half, 10,000 plus 5,000 into 0.2, that is 1,000. So finally we'll get answer 13 plus 1, 14,000. That is the average profit for HA. Then we'll find EMV for HB. So how can you find EMV for HB? So just multiply this Xij with its respective probability. So we'll write here 8,000 into 0.3 plus 12,000 into 0.5 plus 9,000 into 0.2. So here we'll get 8,000 into 0.3 is 2,400 plus 12,000 into 0.5 6,000 plus 9,000 into 0.2 1,800. So it is 6 plus 2 8 plus 1 9 plus 1,200 10,200. Okay, and then after we'll find EMV for XC. EMV for XC. So again we'll multiply Xij of XC with probability. So we'll write here 7,000 into 0.3 plus 7,000 into 0.5 plus 7,000 into 0.2. Now see here we have the value same, so we'll get answer again same, 7,000. Now as per the EMV rule, we will select that ad as the best ad which has maximum EMV. So here you can see that EMV of Act A is 14,000, for Act B 10,200, and for Act C it is 7,000. So here which one is maximum? Yeah, 14,000 is maximum. So we can say therefore Act C is the best act. This is our solution. Okay, I hope now it is clear to you all. Okay, so please write down. Okay, so now after this rule, So we'll discuss now second rule, that is expected opportunity loss. Now again, the difference between expected monetary value and expected opportunity loss is that in EMV we use payoff or profit to find average, but in EOL criteria, first we will find opportunity loss table, and from the opportunity loss table we'll find average loss. So here we are interested to find average loss, and in EMV criteria we have to find average profit. Again, the procedure of both the methods is same. Just only one difference is that in place of monetary value or profit, now we will use opportunity loss. So step number one, we'll find opportunity loss table, or it is also known as regret table. And mind well, whenever you want to find opportunity loss table or regret table, then you have to find text of nature wise. Don't find X wise, right? Then we'll use formula of EOL double summation LIJ. Mind well, dear student, here in place of XIJ we will use LIJ. Well, L is opportunity loss, and unlike the EMV rule, here we will select that act as the best act which has minimum, mind well, which has minimum average loss or minimum EOL. Okay, so in EMV we'll select that act as the best act which has maximum EMV. But in this method we will select that act as the best act which has minimum opportunity loss or average loss. So mind well, again both the method will give you the same result. For example, in earlier example we have seen that according to EMV rule, Act A is the best act. Act A was the best act. Sorry, we have written Act C, but it's a Act A. While in this we will select minimum loss, and again according to this rule also we will get A as the best act. So we'll see in the practical question. So now again mind well the difference between EMV and EOL. So both method will give you the same result. Okay, same result in the sense both the method will give you the same act as the best act. Okay, so now let's again discuss the same question that we have discussed earlier. So now here according to EMV, here not C but Act A is the best act. Please correct it. Okay, so now first we'll find opportunity loss table. It is called OL table, or you can write full. Okay, so first of all we'll prepare the structure, that is A, B, C. Okay, first we will prepare the structure A, B, C, and here we'll write E1, E2, E. Okay, now mind well, here first of all you have to prepare structure of the table, and probability will be same. Okay, now here we will find loss, that is opportunity loss by states of nature. Okay, so here What is the formula of opportunity loss? The formula of opportunity loss is what? Maximum loss minus maximum profit minus payoff, or maximum payoff minus payoff. So here in first column, the maximum payoff is 10,000. So subtract all, that is 10,000, 8,000, 7,000 from 10,000. So maximum payoff minus payoff. So 10,000 minus 10,000, 0. 10,000 minus 8,000, 2,000. 10,000 minus 7,000, 3,000. So this is what the opportunity loss for event first. Then we'll find for second event. Again, maximum is 20,000. So subtract all from 20. 20 minus 20, 0. 20 minus 12, 8,000. And 20 minus 7, sorry, 20 minus 7, that is 13,000. Now we'll find for the third edge. Now here maximum is 9,000. So subtract all payoff from 9,000. 9,000 minus 5,000, 4,000. 9 minus 9 minus 9,000, that is 0. And 9,000 minus 7,000, that is 2,000. Okay. Now we'll use the formula, that is EOL, opportunity expected opportunity loss. What formula? Double summation LIJ into PJ. Here we have used what? XIJ, because EMB is depends on profit, while EOL is depends on loss. Now we'll find EOL for X1. So this is what EOL for X1. So LIJ into PJ. LIJ into PJ. LIJ into PJ. So we'll write 0 into 0.3 plus 0 into 0.5 plus 4,000 into 0.2. So answer is 800. Okay. Please verify the answer. Now we'll find for second edge. So 2,000 into 0.3 plus 8,000 into 0.5 plus 2,000 into 0.2. So, sorry, let me check. 2,000 into 0.3, 8,000 into 0.5, and 0. 0 into 0.2. So it is 600 plus 8,000 into 0.5. 4,000 plus 0. So it is 4,600. Okay. Similarly, we will find EOL for XC for this. 3,000 into 0.3 plus 13,000 into 0.5 plus 2,000 into 0.2. That is equal to 3,000 into 0.3 is 900 plus 13,000 into 0.5, 6,500 plus 2,000 into 0.2, that is 400, equal to 6,500 into plus 900, that is 7,400 plus 400, that is 7,800. Now, as per the EOL criteria, we will select that act as the best act which has minimum EOL. Yes, dear. So here minimum EOL, if you check, then minimum is 800. Here it is 4,600, and here it is 7,800. So again, we can say minimum is 800. So we can say act A is the best act. Okay. So here we can write act A is the best act. So in the theory, we have seen that what is the similarity of this method? Both the method will give the same answer. That is, which act is the best act? So according to both the methods, we can say the same act is the best. Here it is act A. Okay, and it is obvious thing that if you say the maximum profit, ultimately the meaning of maximum profit is what? The minimum loss. Both the meaning are same. Hence, here we'll always get same answer. If you get different answer, then might be there is some mistake. Okay? So please write down this and then we'll see the next and the last method, that is EVPS. Okay? Please write down. Okay, so after EOL criteria, let us discuss now the very most important method, that is expected value for perfect information, that is EVPI. So basically, in decision making under uncertainty, decision maker doesn't have the full information about the states of nature. So decision maker cannot take perfect decision on the basis of past data which are having more risk. But if decision maker has full information, then one can take more accurate decision and to obtain the perfect data. Now, decision maker here, basically he has to depend on some agency or institute which are continuously getting information from the market. So in the decision making under risk method, some information already available for the decision maker. But if decision maker wants to choose the best course of action, then he must have the perfect idea about the particular states of nature. Hence, the perfect information is required. So, in the absence of perfect information, he has to depend on some particular agency who are getting this information time to time. But when you ask to the company or agency, then they will not easily give you the information. As for gathering the information, they will charge some amount, and this amount is known as expected value for perfect information. In short, to get additional information from the agency or institute, how much amount we have to pay them, that amount is known as expected value for perfect information, that is EVPI. Okay, so now we will find that amount. So after finding EVPI, now you have to decide as a decision maker that whether ready-made information that is available in the market or for the agency. So I have to collect that information directly from the agency, or I have to make a survey, or I have to conduct one survey to get information by myself as a researcher or decision maker. Okay, and we will compare the amount, that is the amount which we have to pay for getting extra information from the agency and amount that we have to pay for the survey. And whatever the amount is less, according to them, we will take the decision. Okay, so hence we need to find EVPI first. So again, there are 3 steps. First, find EPPI, that is expected payoff for perfect information. So what is formula of EPPI? The formula of EPPI is the double summation maximum Xij into Pj. So here we have to find maximum profit for each and every states of nature, and then we will multiply that maximum payoff with its probability, and we will find this answer for each and every states of nature, and after summing them we will find EPPI. After finding EPPI, next we have to find maximum EMV. That means again, to find EVPI we need to find EMV for each and every X, and from each and every X we will select maximum EMV. After finding EPPI and maximum EMV, we will apply the formula of EVPI, that is double summation EPPI or EPPI minus maximum EMV. So let's try to understand the relationship between EVPI and EOL. So my well dear students, EVPI is nothing but it is minimum EOL. That means whatever the amount of minimum EOL, you will get that much amount of EVPI using this formula, that is EPPI minus maximum EMV. So here you can check your answer of EVPI whether it is right or wrong. So if you want to check your answer, then find EVPI, then find EOL, and then compare EVPI and the minimum EOL. If both are same, then you are right. If both are not same, then you are wrong. Okay. So now let us discuss practical question. So again, we'll discuss the same question, but here we are interested to find what? EVPI, and also we have to prove that a minimum EOL is equal to EVPI or not. Okay, so let us uh, start the explanation of this example. Okay, so again, we will use the same example that we have discussed earlier. So here we have to find EVPI, and the formula of EVPI is what? EPPI minus maximum EMV. So again, we already found maximum EMV, that is 14,000. So here we can write 14,000 directly. Okay. Now we'll find EPPI, expected payoff for perfect information. And what is formula? Summation, or you can write double summation, maximum xij into the brackets, maximum xij into pj. So now here, for the simplicity of this, how many states of nature are there? 3. So write down first 3 brackets. And first write down probability 0.3, 0.5, 0.2. 0.3, 0.5, 0.2. And we will multiply this probability with maximum payoff. Now we'll find maximum payoff for 0.3. So it is 10,000. Then we'll find maximum payoff for 0.5. So 0.5 maximum payoff is 20,000. And finally we'll find maximum payoff for 0.2. That is third state of nature. That is 9,000. Okay. So here 10,000 into 0.3, 3,000. 20,000 into 0.5, 10,000. And 9,000 into 0.2, 1,800. So total answer is what? 10 plus 3, 13,000. 30,000 plus 1, 14,000, and 14,800. Okay. So here we'll write 14,800, and finally the answer of EVPI is what? 800 rupees, you can write. Okay. So now this is the answer number 1. Now again we have to prove. What is proof? EOL equal to, minimum EOL equal to EVPI. Okay. So here you can check. EVPI is 800 and minimum EOL was, again it is 800. Okay. So here minimum EOL is 800. EVPI is also 800. So here both the answers are correct, right? Equal. So we can say minimum EOL equal to EVPI. So you can prove this statement also. Okay. So this is very simple method, and in exam you are asked this type of question for 8 to 9 marks. That is compulsory. You are asked this question into the exam for 8 to 9 marks. So please consider this type of question as most important. We have discussed in the last lecture that method also you are asked for 7 to 8 marks in the options of this question. Okay. So you are asked either that question or this question in the option. Okay. So please write down. Okay, so in today's lecture, we have discussed three methods, that is decision making under risk. Method number one, EMV, that is expected monetary value. Then we have seen number two, EOL, that is expected opportunity loss. Both the method will give you the same act as the best act, but what is the difference? The difference only in EMV, we will use profit and will multiply profit, that is Xij, into PJ. But in EOL, first we have to find regret table or opportunity loss table, and after finding this regret table, we'll multiply this opportunity loss with its respective probability. Okay. Then we show EVPI, and EVPI is what? How much amount we have to pay to get additional information. So that we can find using EVPI. And we have seen that relationship between EVPI and EOL. What is the relationship? So the answer of EVPI is the same as minimum EOL. So you can verify your answer also. So thank you so much. Have a nice day.